So here we are down at the hangar tonight on a smoky evening here in Northern California. Gonna zoom in here on the moon, maybe. Smoke's dissipated a little bit here in Northern California, and the airport has been IFR for the last few days because of the visibility. It has been kind of 1 to 2 miles, if that, sometimes. So I wanted to show you some things we got going on with the plane. Had to pull the cowlings off. We got a little bit of an oil leak that I wanted to chase, and ended up getting the belly a little bit oily. Just a fine film on the thing that wiped off fairly well. But for those of you that have not seen an airplane engine before, this is a 0320. Let's see if we can get the nameplate down there. Let's see. Maybe 0320 E2D, 150 horsepower, 4-cylinder, air-cooled, basically a big Volkswagen engine, and then propeller. Set up typically like a lot of cars, except it's in an airplane. It does have dual spark plugs, so as you can see here, we've got a spark plug on this cylinder in the bottom, and we've got a spark plug up here in the top, and that is on all the cylinders, and then push rod tubes, just like the sorry for the, maybe we'll get the light off here and kind of see a little bit better. It does have a alternator and a belt that connects to the drive of the propeller, to the crankshaft, and then the plane does have exhaust gas temperature and also cylinder head temperature sensors on it that ties into a EDM 700. This is the carburetor heat that is generated off this portion of the exhaust manifold, and carb heat then goes in, and that is for carb icing. We do have a heater hose there, and goes in. This is the oil cooler, so it's ram air that goes through this slot here and goes through this hose and down to and through the oil cooler. Like I said, just a lot like a big Volkswagen engine. It does have dual what they call magnetos instead of distributors. So that is again for the safety for the cylinders to keep firing. The oil filter is up there. There is a vacuum pump right there that powers all of the or operates all of the vacuum sensors, and we've got an oil pressure sensor up there on this side, and then all of the sheet metal or aluminum and the gasketing material, the blue stuff that you're seeing around, goes and butts up against the, whoops, I'm gonna fall over myself, up against the cowling, and that's what helps funnel the air into the cylinders to keep them cool when you are flying. So again, this is another air intake here, and goes down, and that is what also feeds the heater as well. So basically replicates on the other side, same kind of situation, cylinder head temps, exhaust gas temps, huge muffler, and then we've just got a single barrel carburetor. Let's get the better picture there. A single barrel carburetor on the air intake box, and then goes up into the mix box up there and into the engine. battery is on this side, and again another magneto, and then this is all of the engine mount that holds the weight of that engine against the firewall, and pretty much it. And then all the electrical then penetrates through the firewall into the cabin of the plane, and pretty straightforward. Breather tube down there. Sometimes with older engines, time on them and things like that, you'll get a lot of oil coming out of the breather tube because of the condition of the rings and the blow-by and everything on it. But we haven't had that. It's just that we ended up noticing a little bit of a leak, and we tightened some things up, and as soon as the weather becomes better, we'll go fly. So that is kind of what is going on now. We have done some updates, had them do some updates to the lighting for wingtips and things, and we'll show you that now. Northern California. So right now we're running a LED headlight that I kind of call the God light. But one of the things we've had done, we did upgrade the landing light and taxi light into Aero LEDs, and I'm going to demonstrate those for you here in a second. And then we also had put on the Aero LED wingtip lights here, and get a better focus there. There we go. So that is the wingtip LED, and it's also a strobe and position light. So it's got a little white light to the front and to the rear, and then it's got the position and the strobe on it, which we will show you in a second here. And then as we continue to walk around the plane, I turned all the lights off so we can see the intensity of the lights. We've got a Aero LED LED tail light that is also a strobe. And then continuing to walk around, we also had the antennas replaced with brand new ones as well, because the other ones, the fiberglass was starting to show through. And so that did make a huge difference with the radios. And then over on this end, again, position light, and hard to do this. Let me take the thing off my head. There, that's a little bit better. And but they were luckily with this 172K, the bolt up on it, from what they said, was a perfect fit with a little adapter plate that they send with them. And so it ended up kind of really taking up no time to get the things up. We don't have it set up right now so that the strobes are separately controlled from the nav lights. That's something that they're going to have to pull a separate line on wire and get into the wing and also into the tail. But let's go ahead and we're going to flip the master on here. Turn the battery on, and then we'll turn on the nav lights. Oh, and we also did the beacon. So we had the Aero LED beacon put on as well. So you can kind of see what the illumination of these puppies are, that for flying at night as well as in the day, they are just stupidly bright. So you can see the position light over there, and then the white light to the rear, and then the red light over here, and then the strobe going. But if anybody's considering any of the Aero LED product, you can see how bright that thing is to the rear. It just stinking blinds you. And then the red here, and then the strobe, which is just blinding. And then this is the landing and taxi lights, which are just so stupidly bright, which I'll just turn around here and you can kind of see what it's lighting up out there on the number 7 hangar across the way. But we'll come out here and walk across, kind of turn around and see how bright everything is. That, you know, when we're at night and now we can, you know, run the landing taxi light while we're flying, unless we're, you know, in IFR. But you can see how the sync gets off with the lights, but I'm okay with that, just for safety's sake, just to help illuminate the plane and keep it visible in day and night. And but should be able to see it coming for quite a ways. So it's one of those things that you just can't look very long at the lights when you're up close to them, because they just will stinking blind you. So and being that they're LED, hardly any heat is generated on them, and mean time between failure and lifetime of the LED lights is like 20,000 hours. So so that's it. Wish we were flying, but we're not, and hopefully get some video up soon of things when they clear up here in Northern California with that campfire. But one of the reasons that it's done this is there's just no wind. Typically we get through here, we're, you know, pretty windy through the valley, and this time of year the winds die down, and that's what's just pretty much stagnated the air. I think we've got a high pressure over the area, and so it just is not blowing, doing anything, and spewed all that smoke, and it's just made its way down here. I looked earlier on ForeFlight, and pretty much every airport from where the fire is south down past Merced into that area is IFR. There were a couple of airports over close to the coast by Monterey that were VFR, and then further down there were a few IFRs, but the smoke has just spread just all over the place. So anyway, that's it, and hope to have you back to the channel soon, and we'll get flying just as soon as we can. Thanks for watching.